What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are embarking on the much anticipated German Grand Prix in my F1 2016 League Racing series. So here we are, finally. This is attempt number 2. If you want to see what happened in the first try, then I'll leave a link to the video down in the description. But yeah, that's the updated standings at the moment. We are currently sitting in 4th place, 89 points against our name in the driver's standings. A long way back to 5th place and a long way up to 3rd place. So I'm kind of in no man's land at the moment. But here we are in Germany. We have a wet weather session here upon us, and because of the tricky situation that we had in the first attempt, we've had to do a one-shot qualifying restart of this race. So yeah, as you can see so far, the lap isn't the greatest of all. Like, I missed turn 1 completely, like lost a second in that corner alone, and I'm just doing my best to get the car to the finish line. There's going to be a lot of people, I think, who might either corner cut or just make a huge mistake, and that's just the nature of one-shot qualifying. I just can't get a lap in one shot. It's unbelievable. But yeah, we're sitting in around about 9th, 8th place so far on this lap. I went for a very aggressive qualifying style setup, 8.6 wings, which makes the car very, very oversteery at high speed, and the brake pressure as well is at like 82%, so lockups in the wets are absolutely treacherous. But I'm setting up the car in the midst that hopefully I have a good race car in dry conditions. But that was the qualifying lap. It was nothing special, 8th place. Basically lost all the time at turn 1, and about 9/10 back to pole position. So without that first corner mistake, just misjudging the conditions, I think we would have been right up there. But oh well, we'll move on to the race now, where hopefully it is going to be a dry race. That's what I'm banking on. I didn't get it, unfortunately. We're going to be starting under intermediate conditions, but hopefully after the first stint on inters, we should be switching onto a set of dry tyres. That's hopefully going to be the aim. I've just got to take it careful in the opening laps of this Grand Prix. Make sure I don't get tangled up in incidents. Locking up is going to be very hard to avoid with my setup, but once it goes dry, I feel like we might be quicker than some of the others who might be on a more conservative setup. But as you can see there, we got tangled up with V6 Jaguar, who's gone a bit slow, and that's one of the first times I've been knocked out of a formation lap. So it doesn't really bode well for the race when you can't even get a few meters into the Grand Prix, into a formation lap without making contact with another car. But here we go. 5 red lights for the German Grand Prix, and we are underway in wet conditions. Let's just pray. Please, no one take me out. Just let's get through turn 1 cleanly, and then we'll take the race from there. Up the inside, Fischer goes around the outside, and we've got through turn 1 cleanly. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Actually, we've been touched into turn 2, though, by, I think it was Pomps for the win. Lost the back end, contact with Fischer, but we managed to keep it in a straight line, and now we have a golden run on the back straight here, around the outside of Fischer. Hopefully we can outbrake him as we head into the hairpin. It's going to be 3 wide with Amy going up the inside as well. Safety car. What is that for? Jaguar has spun out in safety car conditions into the hairpin. How the hell was that possible? I do not know. But that is absolutely ridiculous. And because the safety car came out just before his mistake, because of the delta and the timing, he was actually able to get that position back, was he? No, he wasn't. He had to let the others go back through after he overtook us. So yeah, wow, what a start to the race. Most crucially, we've survived. We've actually found position, 2 spots, make that 3 as Fischer pulls into the pit lane. He might have some front wing damage, not entirely sure, but yeah, we've survived, and we don't have front wing damage, so that's the major thing. Amy outbraking himself under safety car conditions. Thank goodness for the ghosting system. Let's get a check up on the weather, because I want to know when I can switch to dries.
We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid.
And typical. The engineer never seems to have any updates on the weather right when you need them. So I'm guessing we're a few laps away. It's still raining at the moment, but we'll have to just deal with the conditions as they come. 5 red lights, and this is a replay from Harry Ryan's point of view. down in the midfield. This is exactly where you don't want to be. Right at the back in tricky conditions. There's going to be spray everywhere, people getting collected, and turn 1 in Germany is just so tight as it is, and it's actually quite clean. I don't think no one spun out, no one crashed, so I am actually so surprised that everyone was able to get through there. But Harry kind of outbrakes himself into turn 2, takes avoiding action, goes to the grass, and then 2 people on the inside of turn 3 there. We're having a little bit of a spin. I think it was Chimchar and also Palms to the Wind. So, very unlucky start for those guys. So, now we're getting ready for the restart. I think that's New Zealand Ryan pulling into the pits for a late change of front wing. I think he chipped a bit of it off on V6 Racing over the course of the safety car. He was lagging a little bit, I think. But we're getting ready to go here. Unfortunately, the game here was not letting anyone get close to the cars ahead, and it's taken an absolute age for us to get going here. The green flag racing for the German Grand Prix once again. We're holding down 4th place, so we managed to halve our grid position in only like a sector's worth of racing so far. So now this will be a really good opportunity for us to see what we're capable of in racing conditions. So the top 3 here, I think that's Warden, my brand new teammate, leading the Grand Prix, so he's doing really well in his debut so far. He came up from the 2nd tier with assists, and now he's turned all the assists off, and he's bang on the pace and leading this race. So really doing a good job so far as Warden. We've got, oh my god, it's Joe in 2nd and V6 Racing in 3rd. These guys are all going hammer and tong at the moment, trying to take the lead of the race, whereas me at the moment, I'm kind of sitting back. I don't exactly have the confidence at this stage to push as much as those guys. I'm kind of just waiting it out, seeing what happens with those guys, and once it goes dry, that's when I'll make my march forward a little bit. V6 got tagged on the back of Joe there into the hairpin, and he might have some front wing damage. I believe I saw his POV the other day, and yeah, I think he got some yellow and orange front wing end plate. So his pace is going to be severely lacking, and we need to get in front of him as soon as possible. The longer we stay behind him, the more time we're going to leak out. You can just see how much time we've lost to Joe already in 2nd place. So we need to dispatch of him and get rid of him really quickly. Aerodynamics means so much in the wet. It just gives you so much grip in the tyres that when you lose downforce, it's quite amazing how much time you can lose. But around the outside of V6 Racing here, hopefully we should be able to overtake him or outbrake him into the hairpin, which we do. We have the inside. We just got to hug it. I've missed the apex a little bit. I've done a Nico Rosberg in not turning for the corner, but we get the move done. That's P3 in this German Grand Prix, and V6 is still on my inside here, so he's putting up a really good fight. He wants to hang on to this position, but it's only inevitable that he'll lose it anyway, because with a partially broken car, he's not going to keep us behind for too long. Lap 9, we're starting to find our feet now, finding some confidence. 3/10 up on our previous best, and we improve to a 27.7, our personal best of the race. So now that we have clean air, we can show our pace a little bit. We're making some inroads on Joe, but the tyres at this stage are starting to fade away, and the track as well is also starting to dry up a little bit. And this stage of the race was really weird, because I had pace like 2 laps ago, and then as soon as it hit lap 12, lap 13, and the track started drying out, my pace just went nowhere, and I just started falling back, and the guys behind me like Fitcho and Zeziami, on fresher tyres I might add, were really closing me in, and that, yeah, didn't help the pace either. So at this stage, I'm just trying to hold on for dear life until the dry tyres are a viable option. You can see the tyre wear, 51%. So the tyres are well past their best. As soon as you go past 50%, they are pretty much, shot. They're not good for very much, and the grip level is absolutely atrocious, especially when the inters aren't really working well in these conditions anymore either. But we catch up to Harry Ryan on lap 16. He's braved it early to go on to dry tyres. It's clearly too early for that, and he's gone a lap down, so very unfortunate for him. It really surprised me and caught me out how long it took for the track to dry up. We were anticipating dry conditions after, I don't know, 10 laps or something like that, but the safety car has been deployed. That is going to be the transition for pretty much everyone to switch on to the dry tyres, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch on to the mediums, and we're going to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. I think the race strategy in the dry is if you want to do a one-stop, you've got to get to like lap 10, 11, 12 to put on mediums to go to the end. So we've made it to lap 18. The mediums should easily make it from here, and now it's just going to be a race in the pits here versus IPSWICH and Zeziami. Unfortunately, we just got a terrible pit stop there, 4.1 seconds. That was slow in itself, but the team didn't change my tyres until like a second or two after I stopped for the mark. So absolutely killed me. So we dropped to P4 behind Zeziami, behind AOR Charlie, who is a lap down, and that's going to make things a little bit awkward when we get to the restart. I think Fitcho ran wide through the hairpin there, which is also interesting. Charlie does the right thing and tries to let us all go through, but unfortunately under safety car conditions, you can't even overtake a lap car, even though it lets you through. But Charlie decides to pit, and that's probably what I would do if I was stuck in a big old train amongst the leaders. It's a good way to get yourself to the back of the field. So we'll get ready to restart in a lap or so's time. Once again, the game is not letting us get anywhere near the cars in front, and the game is really just taking safety first. But then we all bunch up on the final straight and then go across the finish line, which makes things very, very awkward. Poms to the win is gone. No, that's not Poms. That's Zeziami. He got swiped by, oh my god, it's Joe on the approach to turn 1, and he's in the wall, lost his front wing. Wow. And in all that, we've lost a position to the Sauber of V6 Racing. So, not a good restart from me there. A bit shell-shocked about what happened to Zeziami, our championship contender. He's towards the back, and wow, that's wow, I can't believe that. We're on board with Joe now as he tries to make a move on Warden. He's having to defend from the Sauber, who has gone from 5th place to 2nd now. So he's made an absolute beastly start of this restart, and now we're all over the back of, oh my god, it's Joe, who is probably a bit shell-shocked himself after what happened to Zeziami, then getting overtaken. He hasn't really found his rhythm at this stage, but yeah, now it's just a straight-up sprint to the end of this race. 12 laps to go on dry tyres. The track itself is still fairly damp, and there's not much grip in the tyres at the moment, so it's quite risky actually to push it because it's so easy to lose the car at this stage. And as you can see here, we're under pressure from New Zealand Ryan. Call me a cynic, call me, you know, another league racer with excuses, but I feel like I have a slipstream glitch in this race. You guys can be the judge of that. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really experienced it all too much, but I was making no inroads on the cars in front in terms of straight line speed. I'm running with 8.6 wings. I know other people in the field are running with like 7.6, so there's not much difference there. You can see Joe running with 7 front wings, so there's not much difference, and he's making a lot more inroads in the slipstream himself. But yeah, either way, he's made a nice move on Warden there. He got trapped behind V6 Racing, who has now found the lead of this Grand Prix. So V6 in dry conditions looks absolutely lightning in dry conditions. He might be running with a low drag setup, which enables overtaking in a straight line. But either way, he tries to go around the outside of V6. He's going to have better traction though, and he will take the lead of the Grand Prix once again. Back to us though, and we're trying to chase down Warden, who was previously leading, now down to 3rd, and that's our first corner cutting warning of the Grand Prix. Pretty decent by my standards to make it 27 laps and only get my first warning. Turn 1, it's so easy to cut or extend, but lap 28 now, V6 got a lag touch from Warden there, and it's really killed his momentum. V6 is from the UK, I believe, whereas the other guys are from Australia. The only other people outside of Australia are New Zealand Ryan, from New Zealand, obviously, and oh my god, it's Joe, who's from the UK. So with V6 and Joe, you've got to be a little bit wary with those guys, because there can always be a little bit of lag involved if you get too close. But going through turn 1, I had a compromised run. I didn't want to run into the back of V6 Racing, and it really slowed my exit speed, and that was all the invitation New Zealand Ryan needed to go up my inside. So pretty frustrating race so far. I haven't been able to make the progress that I wanted to, despite being at the front of the field the entire race. Like, I just haven't been able to make many overtakes, or I just haven't had the pace. It's been a very frustrating race so far, and that's contact with V6, who got oversteer on me, and now Fitcho is going to overtake me as well. So down to P6 in this Grand Prix. I'm just so furious at this point. I don't want to lose this position. We go around the outside of Fitcho, and Fitcho gets a position on V6, who spun all by himself. I'll drag up a replay in a second here, because I believe V6 got a touch, even though nothing happened on Fitcho's screen. Either he lost the back end, or that was another lag touch from Fitcho's point of view. Something worth bringing up there. But 4 laps to go. We're sitting in P4 at the moment. We got back in front of Fitcho. We've got to chase down New Zealand Ryan to get back in front of him. I would like to gain some points on him in the standings, because he is leading by such a long way. And any points you can gain on the championship leaders is a good round in my book. So that's our second warning for track limits over the course of this race. There might be a few people here who are, you know, struggling for corner cutting warnings or corner cutting penalties, so we could move forward a couple of places as long as we keep it clean for the majority, or for the rest of this Grand Prix. But it wasn't until like this point of the race where I actually found a bit more pace. I changed my driving style a little bit. Like, I started running in 6th gear through turn 1, 6th gear, the fast right-hander at the end of the second sector split. And there were just other points in the track where I was just downshifting too much and just killing my momentum and exit speed. And it wasn't until this point where the track conditions got up a little bit where I was able to push a bit more. But this is the last lap of the Grand Prix now. Fitcho had to dive into turn 2. I actually didn't even know it was the last lap. I was just concentrating so hard to make sure that I kept Fitcho behind and tried to close in the gap to the cars ahead, which we actually are doing, as the leaders are battling quite a bit here. Fitcho up the inside, very tight between the two of us, and we're going to try and hang it around the outside with better momentum, better traction, and Fitcho in the slipstream. I know he's going to have a dive here. I just got to turn in for the corner and just hope that there isn't contact, which there isn't. So, yeah, we hold on for now. I think that's probably going to eliminate any chance of Fitcho getting back in front of us now. Only 1 sector to go in this Grand Prix, and we get a penalty. 3 corners from the end. 3-second time penalty. I know the Fitcho behind me has a penalty, but if there's anyone in front of us who has penalties, we could have gained position on those guys as well. Very unfortunate. But Joe wins the race on track. New Zealand Ryan home in 2nd, Warden 3rd, but I think New Zealand Ryan had 6 seconds worth of penalties and falls off of the podium. So that is the results of the German Grand Prix. And yeah, everyone in front of us had penalties. Every single one of them. And because we finished within 3 seconds of the leader, if we did not get this penalty with 3 corners to go, we would have actually won. How annoying is that? You saw how much of a fractional extend that was through that 3rd last corner, and then Fitcho extends even further than what I did and went through it much faster, but no warning for him. I don't understand. That's the comparison. But yeah, that's F1 2016 for you. And again, our luck comes back to bite us in the ass. But that's been this video for today, guys. The German Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I didn't have the pace, really, but the fact that we were still there or thereabouts in contention was pretty encouraging. And finally a race where we didn't get taken out or any other bullcrap like that. So it was a welcome change. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. The next round of the championship is going to be the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa. So that should be an absolutely awesome race for us, for all of us, in terms of overtaking, battling, and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the league racing videos. Definite change of pace to the single player F1 2016 stuff. I just enjoy it so much more at this point of the life cycle of the game. But yeah, that's been this video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next one, guys, I'll see you next time.